Oh, Glamfam, I am so excited to test out this new Pat Mcgrath Holiday 2022 Mega Celestial Palette. We are going to see how these shadows wear on my over 40 skin. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell. Join us. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we just love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button, and when you comment below, it really does help my videos out. You can follow me on all of my socials at Kristi Allure, and you can check out my merch, Glamorous Life Collections. And without further ado, let's get started. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have to be honest with you guys. When I first saw the Mega Celestial palette, I was like, well, I have to have it because I collect them. I have the other two from previous years, and we'll go over the comparisons of that in just a second. But I thought, I don't know if this is going to exactly be my favorite one. And then I got it in person. I just arrived on my doorstep like an hour ago. So I just quickly did my base makeup and I quickly took the product shots and all that. When I saw this in person right now, I was like, oh my goodness. These are much more breathtaking, in my opinion, in person than they are looking at the stock photos on her website. And the thing about this is you have to look at these palettes as, I'm not buying this because this is my everyday palette. I'm buying this because I collect Pat Mcgrath palettes and I'm a fan of Pat Mcgrath's shadows, and it's a holiday palette that will just be something that will always be there for me. I may not be able to use like this one in a year or so. It's still going strong, but you have to be careful with shelf lives. I may not be able to use this one as much anymore, but I'm always going to have it. I'm always going to have it to reference, and just, you know, it's just beautiful. I mean, you can just see right there on those photos. So I will just kind of quickly show you guys really fast what it looks like next to this brand new one was from 2020. And it was just, to me, more neutral shades. There was those few pops of bright shades, but you can tell very different shades if you already own that one. Plus, you're not going to be able to use that one for probably another, I don't know. I'd be careful. I'd be careful on shelf lives. And then you have the new one compared to this year's compared to last year's, which was 2021. And you did have a little bit of brights in there, but you definitely have more brights in this one. As you can tell, those were more, I would probably say, more wearable shades on the red palette. I personally love the red packaging because it's holiday and all that. It's really beautiful, but this pink one is absolutely stunning too. So one thing I can say is this is definitely bigger than the other two. It's like, it was like the pink, light pink one was like the baby one, and then the red one was like a medium or even bigger, and then this one's even bigger. And this is called the Mothership Mega Celestial Nirvana palette. So there's 18 pans in this, and each pan is about 0.044 ounces, 1.26 grams, so per pan. That times 18 gives you a total weight size of 0.792 ounces, 22.68 grams of product. So if we're breaking it down and we're really dividing 82 into 22.68 grams, we're looking at about 79 cents per gram. So that's not bad when you look at it per pan size. You're getting a lot of shades in this. So this is definitely a better deal than the Mothership palettes, but it obviously gives you a lot of shades that you may or may not use. So that's something to always keep in mind. I don't look at this palette as, oh my gosh, I'm buying this because this is the best neutral everyday shades. I'm looking at as I'm buying this as a timepiece, as a collectible. And that to me makes it worth it. Now, and I get the Pat Mcgrath quality shades. Now, if you're not into brights and all of that, and you don't collect a lot of Pat Mcgrath palettes, this may not be a palette that will be worth it to you. So that's all relative when it comes to whether or not I think $82 is worth it. I have to say, when I got it in the mail, when I opened it up today, and I looked at those shades. I was like, wow, those are some pretty wearable shades in there. And my goodness, if you really break this palette down and look at it in quads or thirds, which she really points out on her website, she said that you can really look at these palettes in thirds. And if you look at it that way, that shows you how Pat McGrath would recommend using this if these are the color tones you like if you are more into like neutral structures is what she kind of calls it. And that means that it's basically structures or what she calls like matte shades. Those shades that really contour the lid and really accent the metallics and shimmers. And then I did pick up, this was a bundle with the Intensifies, and I don't remember how much it was, so I'll put the bundle price right there where you get, I've been wanting this Artistry wand, so for me it was worth it, and then to get the 10% off. Now you can wait till the Sephora VIB sale and you won't get the combos. She only does those on her website, but you can buy the palette. It's already like there, it's available on the Sephora site, but I don't think it actually will be in stock until October 7th. But I will keep you guys updated. Make sure you have the notification bell on because I always update you guys in the community post. But I did pick up the package because I definitely want to try this today. I never was able to pick this up before. So this is the Intensifies Artistry wand, and it is $34 on its own. Okay, I bought this in a bundle, but on its own, it's $34. You get 0.07 ounces and 2 grams of products, so about $17 per gram. So it's a little on the pricey side, so we'll see if it's worth it. This is an eye artistry enhancer that combines the versatility of a mixing liquid with an easy-to-use pen for instantly amplified shadow vibrancy that lasts. Apply as a base or when layering shadows to improve adherence and optimize finish. The clear, hydrating formula glides on, transforming metallic shimmers and sparkling finishes into lavish lid embellishments. It is really pretty. Everything is cruelty-free with Pat McGrath, just so you guys know that. Let's take a look at these swatches. So the way I swatched it was I went in thirds because I feel like as we already talked about, that's kind of how the color stories I would wear them in, and then maybe interchange some of them. So that's kind of how I swatched it on my arm because I wanted you guys to be able to see what it looks like next to each other. So the first one is Nightfall, and that one is a neutral brown matte. And then we have Cosmic Champagne, which is a warm beige shimmer. It is so beautiful. And then the next shade is Bronze Infatuation, and that's a cool bronze with a platinum sparkle. Ugh, it's just beautiful, just beautiful. And then Desert Divinity, and that's a neutral terracotta matte. That reminds me of Statuesque from Pat McGrath. If you're a fan of Pat McGrath, you know what color I'm talking about. And then the next shade on my arm is Altered State, and that's a forest green matte. Now, I don't consider this so much a forest green in my opinion. I look at it more as like a teal green, like a dark teal green, but it's absolutely beautiful. Almost like the Gucci, signature Gucci, like that burgundy and green. It reminds me of that type of green. It's really beautiful. And then next to that, the last one on that arm is Guilty Opulence, and that's an antique chartreuse frost. I don't know if I say that word right. I know the word, but I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. So my apologies if I didn't pronounce that correct. Now let's take a look at the next set of swatches. And again, this is more her cool, she considered like her really big bright pops of color, and that's Nocturnal Navy, and that's a midnight blue matte. I'm a big fan of blue shadows, and I'm a big fan of navy blue shadows, and this is giving it to me. And then next to that is Lunar Lavender. Oh, you guys, that shade is incredible, incredible. It's a pale lilac shimmer. Oh, again, you can use a lot of these shades during the summertime as well. And then we have Eternal Amour, and that's a coral rose with a platinum sparkle, really beautiful. Fabulosity, a mid-tone fuchsia matte, really pretty if you're a purple fan. And then we have Violet Vixen, a vivid purple matte that is like incredibly creamy. It is really beautiful. That is a gorgeous purple. And then we have Aquarium Dream, which is an azure blue frost. Oh, It is really, really beautiful. I mean, just stunning. And then the last row of swatches, we have Auburn Allure, Vivid Mahogany Matte. Beautiful. I would use a shade like that because I do think those red browns are really, really pretty accent shades to your contour shades. And then we have Golden Angelica, a pale golden shimmer, such a beautiful yellow gold. And then we have Heavenly Bronze. I kind of consider this the special shade in the palette only because it is the one that has the most sparkles in there. That's a sparkling warm bronze. Absolutely stunning. Femme Fatale, which is a vivid red orange matte. Again, that one was so incredibly creamy for some reason. It was just really beautiful, the texture. Not a color I would use, but really beautiful. And then we have, I think it's called Venetian? I don't know. Peony, I don't know if I pronounced that right. And that's a vivid pastel coral matte. Not a color I would personally use, but a very pretty color. And then Starlit Copper, which is a deepened copper rose frost. I think that shade is going to be so gorgeous for the fall time. A quick note before we jump into this look, BK Beauty is running a huge restock event, and you guys know what a fan I am of my BK Beauty brushes. I use them in all my videos. It started yesterday on the 6th, and then it will go until October 9th. So the following brushes and sets that will be restocked: 108 Precision Powder Brush, 202 Defined Crease Brush, the Essentials Brush Collection, the Essential Eye Brush Set, the Precision Brush Collection, the Hooded Small Eye Brush Set, which I highly, highly recommend getting, Luxury Makeup Brush Set. So all of those will be 20% off and will be automatically applied at checkout. And then their large 105 buffer brush will be restocked as well, but it won't be eligible for the 20% discount. So I wanted to keep you guys updated to make sure you note that in your calendar, and I will be putting out a community post, so make sure you have that notification bell on. All right, now let's do a more, how should I say, I want to do a very glam look, but I also want to keep it where I'm not going to use a lot of the bright colors. Okay, it's just not me. That's not my, there's probably a ton of other YouTubers that will use those pops of colors, especially those pinks and those reds. That's not me. That's not my style. And I really want to give this palette a fair shot. Like, I want to have really good, you know, honest feelings of my rankings. So I'm going to use a look that I know myself, as that just closed, and a lot of you and a lot of my glam sisters would appreciate and like and would wear themselves. So I'm just going to go with it. I don't know where we're going to go with this, but we're just going to go with it. But we are going to start off with that. First, I would consider more of a transition type shade, and that one is called Desert Divinity. It's definitely more cool toned. It has more, I should say, probably like red undertones in it. Let me swatch that compared to, this is Statuesque. This is one you can buy on her website for $12.50 now. And I love this shade. I don't leave home without that shade if I'm traveling. Like, that is the one shade I always have to have with me. This is Statuesque, and that is Bronze Divinity. So definitely more warm brown undertones, more red undertones. But it reminds me of it. You know, it's similar to it. All right, now that you guys are all pulled in close, I have Pat McGrath concealer on today, just so you guys know. Sublime Perfection Concealer. Absolutely love this concealer. I have L5 and LM8 are my two shades that I use. And then I did use my MAC Soft Ochre today. Absolutely love this one for when I create Pat McGrath shades. I don't know, for some reason, Soft Ochre, this has been a tried and true for me since the day it launched. I remember the day it launched, I was at San Jose, kind of like their Valley Fair type mall, like their huge one. It's like a big fancy one. I was there with my mom. They had just launched these, and the guys at MAC were like, you guys need to try these. And ever since then, I've been sold, and that was over 20 years ago. And my mom and I always had this. This was our favorite. And I used it with my Pat McGrath. I love this Sublime Perfection concealer brush. I don't like it to apply concealer, but I like it to apply my base. It's really good, and it works really good with this one. So we're not going to use this until we go into the metallics. So let's start off with that first shade. We're going to use my BK Beauty A503. All right, so I'm going to start right here, and we're just going to, again, hold the brush far back because these are highly pigmented. And you always want to start small. You don't want to start, especially with matte pigments. I would recommend, it's a lot easier to blend out when you start small. That is a really beautiful shade. I mean, really beautiful shade. Wow. That is really, the quality, impeccable. No complaints. Very pretty color. All right, now I'm gonna take my Sigma E40 and we're just gonna kind of blend that out even more. I don't have anything on this. We're just smoothing it out. Now that's the lightest shade in the palette. If I'm being really nitpicky, and if you ever watch this Pat McGrath, one thing I would love to see in these Mega Celestial palettes is something lighter, something even lighter for us light skin girls, because these are a little deep for transition shades, especially for my fair skin girls. You're gonna have a hard time making that a transition shade. So my recommendation is, if you have even more fair skin than I do, is with a shade like that, if you're using it as a transition, go in with a smaller brush. This is from Sigma. This is an E27. And what I would do is I would take this brush, put that there, and I would start tight in here where you want your crease to be, okay? And then I would take the Sigma E40 and blend that out, or any brush, or even like the BK Beauty A506 or 503, sorry, like that one. That even smooths it out even more, where it keeps the pigment in there, but it diffuses it out to make it lighter. That's what I would recommend doing, because us lighter skin girls, this is a deeper skin tone, and really hold that brush far back, because for us, it's gonna pull too much pigment if we don't. I'm actually gonna play with the navy, okay? Because I don't do a whole lot of navy looks, although I think this new one I'm about to get is gonna be a navy, but it's like a deeper navy, I think. So this is more of like a brighter navy color. So I'm gonna show you guys how you can utilize that. Look at that swatch though. Whew. That is one, but you're gonna get a lot of stainage there. So if you're gonna use these bright colors, or if you use any bright colors from any palette to avoid any type of allergic reactions you may have to color dyes, my biggest recommendation is either A, not use them, or B, if you are, to really lay down a good thick base and really put a barrier between those type of dyes and your skin. It's just a recommendation, take it or leave it. But for right now, actually, let's go in with that brown, that chocolate brown. I changed my mind. We're gonna go in with that because I didn't realize how blue that was gonna be. Well, I did know, but I think this is, I wanna give you guys something that you can really wear. Gosh, that's so nice. Look at this. Look at that. Ooh. I mean, who else gets so... Do swatches do that for you guys? Because swatches really do something for me. Give me like warm and fuzzies inside. Sounds a little strange, but it's true. That's just where we are. All right, I'm gonna use my Sonia G Mini Booster, just something really small and petite. And we're gonna go into this beautiful chocolate brown, and I'll put the names right there. Sorry, I can't remember all off the top of my head. There's 18 shades in here. All right, so I'm gonna pop that one in here. We're just gonna go really light because we see how pigmented that is. Do you see how far back I'm holding my brush? And I am literally patting. By patting, you're gonna avoid any type of patching or skipping. And then you can blend out from there. I'm gonna keep that tight and on the corner there. You guys, you know what, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna use the blue today because I think her new palette's gonna have that deep navy blue in it, and we're about to do that look. So I think we're gonna use the green today because it is a little bit different from the greens I typically use. I wish I can give you guys different looks in one video, but personally my eyes, whenever I take off makeup, they get really itchy, and it's just not, I don't have that skin that recovers really fast to do a ton of eyeshadow looks in one video. So that's why I don't do that. So I'm sorry, I know a lot of you may like that, but especially with shades like this, I already know that's gonna probably be itchy for me afterwards. So, and then the next look won't come out as pretty. I'd have to do it on a totally different day. very pretty. And I'm just taking that first shade we used, Desert Divinity, over that, just to kind of blend out those edges. Now I'm gonna take that smaller Sigma E27 and do the same thing, just really stay there. All right, now let's try this little red toned one, just to go in there. We're gonna put that right above here. I'm gonna try to use as many shades as I can to see what plays. Okay, that comes off more pink toned on me than red toned. And remember, it's always gonna come off different, you know, depending on your skin tone. Let's get this little itty bitty BK Beauty A504. This one's really tiny. We're gonna go back into this dark brown corner shade, and I'm gonna plop that back in there because I kind of lost some of it there. It does come off a lot more purple undertoned than I had imagined it would, but it's still beautiful. I'm just gonna take the leftover of it and bring it through the crease right there. We're gonna take this Chica Hodo corner brush. It's a little bit more of a pointy tip, going back into the dark brown, and we're gonna just pop down. There we go, that's what I wanted, right there. All right, now going back into the BK Beauty A504, we're gonna go back into Desert Divinity, that first transition shade. All right, so that's what it would look like with just the browns and a smoky eye and a little bit of that red tone. Now let's pop in this green right here. Okay, this is crazy pigmented. Do you see how like that's more of a bright green versus a forest green? In my opinion, forest green to me is more of a army green, deeper. And that's how I always thought of forest green. I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think. That's always been my impression of a forest green, but it's still beautiful. It's really, really pretty. All right, so again, that could be one that could stain you. So be mindful of that. Whew. Ooh, 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 look at that right there. Goodness. All right, we're gonna keep this one like right here. Just gonna stamp that on the corner very lightly because you see how pigmented that was? I mean, very lightly. That is beautiful. That looks really pretty on the eyes. Whew. Oh my gosh, that's a pretty color. All right, going back in with my BK Beauty, I'm sorry, my Sonia G Mini Booster into that dark brown, and we're just gonna go around the edges of that like that. Just kind of, I'm making the green more wearable by adding in a little bit of that brown depth right there. And remember, these looks always come out, this one has some fallout, come out better once you put your lashes on and all that. We need to put some powder down because I think we're gonna get into some fallout territory here. That's okay. I'm gonna take my Viseart Seamless Powder. This is the only one I will use under my eye. I would say this is an emerald green. That's what I would probably label this more as. To me, that's still very wearable, or it's not too intense, but it's there. Now let's take a little bit more of that first desert. All right, let's go into the metallics. This is where I'm like, what do I want to go with? I think what we're gonna start off with is this really, really beautiful, like taupey metallic, and that one is called Bronze Infatuation, and she considers that her gleaming metallic. It's probably one of my favorite shades in this palette. I just think it's absolutely stunning, and that's described again as a cool bronze with a platinum sparkle. Ooh, 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 how pretty is that? Let's swatch that in studio. Oh my goodness, how pretty is that? So we're gonna use that one more on the outer edges of the eye, probably like as a halo effect. We'll do it like on the out and the in, and then we'll leave the brighter center shades. Now let's start using these Intensify shadow sticks. So you'll just wanna pump that, click it 1, 2, you want to click it out, but you don't want to click it too much because you don't want to waste product. You can't push it back in. So I would start small if I were you. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it just takes a little bit, but try not to do it too much. Like really beware of that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use that corner edge, this corner right here. We're going to put that like in the inner corners right here, like she said to do on the directions. So that gives us a little bit of a base there for the metallics when we do the inner corner highlight. I'm gonna pop that up again, and I'm just gonna start putting this on my eyelid, like that. it a little goes a long way. It actually, I thought it was gonna lift my base, and it's not, you guys. I mean, it's lifting it a little bit, but that's actually pretty darn good. It's kind of a waxy formula. You can even, why does my voice get high like that? It's weird. So I'm gonna do a little bit like that. I think it's actually better to do it with your finger, to be quite honest. That's how I would do it actually next time. So it would prevent it from getting dirty too. So we're just putting that down because I really want to see how this works. Never tried this, so we are trying this together, y'all. All right, we're gonna go with my Anastasia A18, just a flat concealer type brush. That's what it looks like. This is clean. I'm gonna start on the outside edges. Ooh, I like that intensify. Oh yeah, that kind of like helps you just keep the pigment there, and I think it will prevent a lot of fallout too. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that color is insane. Yeah, that really works. Oh my gosh, that really, really works. Wow. So we're gonna do the one next to the green. Beautiful, like gold with almost like green undertones to it. So we're gonna pop that one in the center. We will, since we already have, oh my gosh. That color is insanely pretty. Even though maybe I wouldn't do this off camera, I want you guys to see how it still can work. Now that we have that down, let's take this special shade. Actually, since it's a chunky one, I think we're just going to use my finger for that. Okay, let's put that right here. Oh, yes, that is beautiful. We're gonna go into this corner shade right here, that really beautiful, I'll put the name right there. And we're gonna put that into the inner corner. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, that intensify just keeps it right into place. I highly recommend this stick. Okay, so that's without it, okay? So I didn't put the stick up there. Now let's try putting the stick there, and I guarantee you that's gonna pop more. Now let's try that with the stick. Oh my gosh, do you guys see the difference with that? Moly moly guacamole. What the palette? Okay, I wasn't sure if this would be worth it, to be honest with you guys. I was like, is it really gonna be worth it? Can you just use eyeshadow base or a mixer? But liquid mixers, if you've never worked with them, I have in the past, are just a pain in the butt. I have them somewhere around here. I never use them because they're a pain in the butt. They get messy quickly. This is easy, quick. All right, we're gonna kind of take a little bit more of the emerald green and kind of build that up on the corner since we lost a little bit of that. So in retrospect, I would have not used the yellow gold probably as much because I think the taupe looks better with this look because I have more of the purple undertones with those browns. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of go over it a little bit. I know this is gonna look a little crazy, but we're gonna take a little bit of that bronze one and we're gonna kind of just start going over that a little bit because I know it will bother me. So you got the idea of what it looks like with the yellow gold. I just feel like it goes with this look a little bit more, but at least you guys got to see how those yellow golds perform. They're really beautiful, don't get me wrong. I just think with this look, it's gonna look better. I think those yellow golds will look better with more of the red undertones, in my opinion. But with this green, I just feel like in the purple, like if I had a matte in here that was more of a warmer brown, then those golds would have picked up beautiful. But because these are more purple undertoned, in my opinion, these are really taupe, I think it looks better with the taupe metallic. I don't know, let me know in the comment section what you guys, yeah, that's really, really beautiful together. Let's take this color right here, this gorgeous light pink one. Oh, like I said, it's more of like a peachy undertone. Let's take that one. Oh yeah, I'm liking that much more. So we're gonna go more cool toned with this. Ooh, that's really pretty. And that just kind of brightens it. I don't want too much, but it kind of brightened that up a little bit in the center. We're gonna take this little, like just an eyeliner type brush, and we're gonna go into that green. I'm gonna try something a little different here. I'm gonna get a little creative with myself here. We're gonna leave that green on the outside. I'm gonna take that dark brown now. Okay. You can use a different brush too if you want. And then I'm gonna take it underneath the green. Ooh, that looks good. What do you guys think? I'm trying this out. I just had the idea right now. Like, oh, what if I did the brown on the inside? But I would go underneath the green so it doesn't look choppy and it blends. Yeah, that looks good. What do you guys think? I like that. We're gonna use this MAC, just a pencil brush. I'm gonna go into that Desert Divinity, that first like transition shade, and we're gonna go underneath all of that. That looks so good. What do you guys think? I like that. I like it. I'm gonna go back into the green and just make sure that some of the gold got on there. So I just wanna make sure I stamp that back in. Again, just use stamping motions. Very pretty. Let me pop on my lashes and I will be right back. All right, Glam Fam, so that is how the final look turned out. These shadows are so incredibly beautiful. These are my Amy June Eve 3D Silk lashes, $10. Use code Kristi15 at checkout, get 15% off of that. I have to just say, this is one of the most incredible tools you can ever get your hands on if you like wearing metallic shades or any shimmers. I just think this is gonna be your best friend. And I think for us mature skin ladies, especially because as we age, our eyelids tend to get a little bit more dry. This is very moisturizing, and it just glided on. You guys saw that, the way it popped on my inner corners. I am just blown away by that Artisry wand. I do think it's worth getting the bundle, or she has this in bundle with her other Mothership palettes as well. So definitely check out. She has a lot of great bundles that you can get on her site. But oh my gosh, let's just talk about this palette, you guys. I am gonna give this a solid 5 out of 5 stars. Wow, it is gorgeous. It is the first time that I actually got up close in my mirror when I was putting on my lashes and didn't notice any skipping. I didn't have to really patch up anything. I didn't have to go off camera and go, oh gosh, I gotta kind of fill in gaps here. Nothing. That goes to tell me that that formula is impeccable. I'm not getting any itchiness from those color dyes at all. I noticed one thing with Pat McGrath Permagel liquid liner. I never have any problems. I need to get a new one. Mine dried out and it was just old. I think I used it all up. It is phenomenal. I need to order a new one. It's so good. Anyway, let's go over my rate card and just kind of talk about how why I gave this a perfect 5 out of 5 score. So application, oh my goodness, it is just phenomenal. Like I said, I had no skipping issues. I mean, literally these glided on mature lids like a flippin' dream. So 100% impeccable application. Pigmentation, I mean, that goes right into application. The pigments were there, and sometimes it doesn't really tie in sometimes, because sometimes there's a lot of pigment but they're not easy to blend out. This was so easy to blend out, but the pigmentation was 100% there. Amazing. Shade formulation. Every one of these textures were incredible. Whether you're swatching the frosty shades that we didn't use today or really working with those shimmers, we basically worked with a lot of the metallics today. And wow, 100%. Long wearing, absolutely. I couldn't even get the swatches off my hand. I was literally scrubbing it. So absolutely long wearing, and I think with the artist one, it's gonna even make that even longer. So 100% long wearing. Color story. This is not necessarily, some of these colors, like I said, are not my cup of tea. Like that bright pink, that bright red, not my cup of tea. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, but I love the sectional color story aspect, that you can break it up into those thirds or those quads and you really have multiple options. So absolutely 100% worth the money. That's all relative, as I always state in each one of my rate cards. I have to tell you guys whether or not I think it's worth it to me. 100% I think it's worth it. I think, again, you're paying, you know, think about it per gram and what you're paying, and that you're paying for an 18 pan palette at $82 price point. Yeah, a little steep, but what is it? Natasha Denona, Danessa Myrex, these quality palettes, you're gonna pay more. I got 10% off from using that code, but I would pay the full price for this because I really, honestly, truly, and you guys know I will be 100 with you if it's not good. And I thought for sure it was not gonna get 100%, but 100% 100% of me would recommend this product, this palette. It is just incredibly beautiful and such a keepsake and collector's item. As I stated in previous videos that I've filmed with these, I don't think I actually did a look with this one. I did do a look with this one, so I will flash the card. I did a full face of Pat McGrath using this palette, but you know, I don't think I did this because I think I picked this one up in the sale after, and I think by the time I got it, it probably wasn't as relevant anymore to a lot of people. But this is a really gorgeous one. If you can still find this one, it is really beautiful. If you're more into warm tones and this is still available, I would go with this one more, only because there are more warmer tone shades in here. I actually ended up going in with this one on my lid, and I think it paired really beautiful with this look. Really beautiful with this look. It is such a gorgeous bronzy tone metallic. So I did end up putting that one in the center of the lid, and I think that accented it very, very beautifully. By the way, I did pick up the Vault one, and this one was called Bronze Ambition, but these are not available anymore, so I'm so sad. I wish she would just bring these back, because this is one of the most phenomenal palettes you will ever get your hands on. I'll show you the swatches right there. Unfortunately, it's not on her site anymore, and I don't think these are like from her vault. They were like limited edition shades. So this is one of my favorite palettes of all time now. Seriously, it is so beautiful. I don't know if you guys really want me to create a look with something that's not even available anymore, but if you did get your hands on it and you want to see a tutorial on it, let me know in the comments section. I always like to hear your feedback. I don't want to just put out something that I don't think, especially with eyeshadow palettes, that I don't think you guys are going to really appreciate. What I do wish is that she would make these, like, she would take a page from Natasha Denona and start creating palettes that we can interchange, because not everybody wants to get a Z palette or a separate magnetic palette, and none of these, these are really hard to, I don't want to have to go through depanning all this, depotting all of this, and you know, having to go through that. I don't have time for that. So I like ones that you can easily pop out and put into a Z palette. So either make them so that they, you know, you can pop them out, or make it so that, you know, you can interchange them in her pans. Like this would have been cool. Like there are shades in here I wish I can put in here, right? So that would be neat. That's something I think Pat McGrath can do that would be different and not the same, which I would love if she would do that. So Pat, if you ever watch this, Mama Pat, that would be something that I know a lot of us would appreciate. Another one little small criticism would be to put a lighter transition shade, for a matte one for us girls, because we all use a transition shade. Now grant you, I could have used Statuesque, which is fine, but even this is a little bit dark. Like this a little bit lighter would have even been even more perfect. But anyway, that's just being hypercritical, but it doesn't take away from my ratings. I still think it's amazing, but I'm always honest with you guys. You know that. So again, leave your comments below. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are new here and you haven't hit that subscribe button, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell so you can get alerted. We're here every Friday and Sunday, and we just love for you to become part of our family. Please give this video a huge thumbs up when you guys hit the like button and when you comment below. I know I keep reiterating this, but it really does help my videos out. You can follow me on all of my social media accounts at Kristi Allure, and check out my merch, Glamorous Life Collections, and I will see you guys on the next video. Love you guys. Bye.